set. Stop wobbling. Okay, action.
Hi everyone, my name is Nina Obwald. I'm a chemical engineering graduate from the University of Pittsburgh. I graduated in December 2017, um, and I'm excited to tell you guys about my study abroad experiences.
Great, thanks, Nina. I have a question for you. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about what study abroad programs you did while you were a Pitt student.
Yeah, so I studied abroad for a semester in Lund, Sweden during my junior year, and then I had such a great time that I decided I want to study abroad again. So during my senior year, I participated in the Innovate program and traveled to China over spring break.
Oh, great. Well, maybe you can tell me a little bit about how those experiences translated for you when you were applying for jobs.
Yeah, definitely. So I actually created a whole separate international experience section on my resume. I think it makes it really clear to employers that international experience is something that's really important to me and something I want to continue doing throughout my career.
Great. Can you tell us like how you wrote about it? Like what kind of terminology you might have
Yeah,
used?
so I just put it's not a huge section on my resume because I know a lot of us are like crammed for space, but I actually have just one line for each of my experiences, and I think that in itself is enough to show employers that hey, this is something important to her. Because I think if you don't have it on your resume, um, they're not going to know about it at all. So just having that one line is enough to kind of prompt questions from interviewers about what does this mean? What was this like for you? So
Great. And how did you incorporate it in your cover letters?
I haven't ever really put it in any cover letters. I think having it in the resume is enough on its own to prompt the questions that I'm more than willing to answer. So
Great. Well, that transitions us. What type of questions have employers asked you about your study abroad experiences?
yeah, so I every time I interview with someone, I always get questions about it. Basically, people just ask, what was it like for you? And that's a really open-ended question. I really like to talk about how the study abroad experience kind of impacted my career goals. So when I was living in Sweden, it's a really environmentally friendly country, a lot different from the US in a lot of different ways. And that really kind of impacted where I want to go with my career. I really hope to move into environmentally focused field and bring some of the things that I saw in Sweden into the US mainstream. So that's something I think that's really cool to talk about with employers because they like to see, okay, it wasn't just a semester of fun. You actually got something really important out of it from your time abroad. So
Great. Have you also talked about it in a way? So, for example, if they asked you questions like, how have you overcome challenges and that type of thing? Have you
yeah,
ever incorporated your study abroad experiences into a question like that?
yeah, definitely. So it definitely was a really challenging time. It was really exciting to go abroad, but moving to a whole new country and not knowing anything until you get there was really scary. And that's I think something really important to talk about with employers too, because they like to know that you're able to be independent and be flexible and overcome the sort of challenges where you're in a new culture and you're unsure about what it's going to be like, and know that you're able to adapt to it. So I think that's also something really important to touch on when I'm speaking about my experiences.
One more thing for students that have only done a short term program, because you've done that too,
Mm-hmm.
how have you talked about the Innovate program going to China, and how would you suggest students talk about like shorter programs abroad?
Yeah, I think it's important to make sure that you're participating in a program that does relate to something you're interested in. So I think it's really the Innovate program is great because it's focused on globalization as a whole, which is something that affects all of us. And we also focused on environmental causes within the class and when we went abroad as well. So I can kind of draw that in there and connect my two experiences when I'm talking to employers.
That's great. Is there anything else that you would want to tell a student who's maybe thinking, oh, can I afford going abroad? Is this really going to help me in terms of my career or getting a job? Maybe, do you have any advice for students watching this right now?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend going abroad. If you've never been abroad before, the short term programs are really great because they kind of help you along the way and you get the feel of what it's like to be in a different country, and with some friends as well while you're there, which is really nice. Um, I would definitely recommend it to everyone. I think it's a really great way to learn more about yourself, learn more about a different culture, and just become a more well rounded global citizen, which as globalization increases, it's super important to know more about than just your own culture. So Definitely recommend it to everyone. There are so many funding options out there. You can figure out a way to make it work, even if you have some limitations that you think might be hard to overcome.
Great. Well, thank you, Nina, so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.
Good luck with your career.
Thank you.
Bye.